Hi everybody, welcome to Cracked Lacquer Nail Studio. I'll be doing acrylic and gel designs with 3D and even 4D sculpting and of course bling. I will also be sharing some tips for growing beautiful, healthy, natural nails and how to deal with nail product allergies. There will be affiliate links for the products I use in the description box below. Please like and subscribe, and please hit the bell if you want to be notified of future videos. In this video, I'll be making a Gothic almond nail and an acrylic butterfly with some bling. The form for this, you need to have it in an upward slant, and it makes the sides deeper and the apex a lot stronger. And I'm just going to use a medium-sized bead of clear acrylic, and I'm going to bleed this out. Bleeding it out will help it stay in one place and not run all over down the sides. Then you don't have to fight with it so much. So you just make sure you pat it down right where the apex is and bring it down. And see how it just stays a little bit better where you're where you want it. You don't have to struggle. I like that. I'm going to put a little bead of clear acrylic kind of on the runny side with the nail pointed down, and that way when you go to file to change the nail out, you just file down to that and it keeps the product from staining the nail. The cover pink that I'm going to be using, I'm just going to put it kind of a little more than halfway up the nail, push it a little bit towards the cuticle. I'm going to add some more to that around the cuticle area, but you know, this helps keep it from bleeding, especially if you have the nail pointed downward. That really helps a lot. And I'm just going to make this, shape this into a deep V to match the design that I'm going to do. And you just make sure that it's covered on the sides and you get it the shape you want, because I will be filing this to make it nice and sharp. Make sure you don't flood that cuticle. It'll cause lifting if you do, and it doesn't look very good. It needs to be flush with the nail. That's all done. It looks nice and sharp. I filed it. I filed the sides of the free edge a little bit. I didn't spend too much time on that yet. I'll do that close to when I'm done with the nail. Straighten that out. It always looks funny before you're done, but that's the way it goes in most nail structures. This black I'm using is very pigmented. I made it, and I made it really opaque with this mica pigment powder. The link for that will be down below if you want to use it. It's a very good product. It has all kinds of colors, metallics and mattes. It's actually pretty neat. And it actually, you can blend it in with the acrylic powder a lot easier than some of the other pigment powders that I've tried. So I just use small beads. I just go a little bit at a time, make sure I put it where I want it, around the sides. That way I have time to put it in place, make it look nice. I don't worry about getting it on the pink for now, because I'm going to be filing this, and I can just file that right off of the pink. there's the black, and I have filed it. It looks crisp, it looks nice. I did file the sides of the black a little bit to make them stand out a little more. And now I'm ready to put my homemade, you can call it a polygel. I don't know that it could be called that, but I mixed a little acrylic powder, clear acrylic powder in with a clear builder gel, thickened that up, and then I added some glitter, the colors that are actually going to be in the butterfly. There's 4 colors. And I'll show you those in a little bit when I go to make my butterfly. So this stuff is a little more gummy than the good stuff that you can get, but I wasn't really going for making a polygel per se. I just wanted something that I could put my own colors in and play with a little bit, make sure I get them in the sides. So, and I just use a regular gel brush and some alcohol for the slip, and that works. You can just play with it as long as you want to until you cure it, and you do have to cure it the same amount of time that your builder gel takes. There it is. Looks nice. Now see how I don't have the gel flush with the black? That's a choice. It's not really necessary. I am going to be putting the clear acrylic on top, and you won't even notice that. But you can file it, but with the colored glitter, if you file it and you cut into it, it turns it silver. Unless you want silver in there, just don't worry about it. You don't have to do it. And again, I do like to have this a little bit dry. I start right about where the apex is, and I pat it down on the nail bed so that when I go to add the other pearl, it's not going to have an abrupt edge. It'll be nice and smooth when I brush it over. I just pat it all into place. Usually I can do that with one bead. Let's see. We'll see what happens here. And then I'm going to be filing all of this. But first I'm going to put a small bead towards the back, towards the cuticle. Again, hold the nail down. You don't have to bleed that one out. I don't usually. A little more liquidy is better, because then it just kind of runs down and falls into where you want it. All filed. Everything looks good, so you can't even tell that there's an abrupt edge there, that it wasn't flush on the sides. Some designs it might show. You just have to do what you need to do according to what design you're doing. Now I'm putting the top coat. This is a no white top coat. I usually take a little too much time this part because it's so fun to see everything. So as I'm putting it on, I kind of examine and I look for anything that needs to be fixed or this one ended up looking good. Don't forget to cap that free edge there. You need to cap that. Even though it's not a real person, I still get in the habit of doing the same things for when I do them on a person. I think it's ready for me to start my butterfly. Looks good. It's a pretty nail. Okay, butterfly time. This part's going to be fun. So this paper is just what the form came on. It's non-stick. It's got a shiny side. Make sure you use that side. Sorry, I sped this part up. I wanted to have some time to do the whole butterfly. I did cut it up into parts. But this is real easy. You can just do the butterfly the way you want, any colors you want, whatever you think a butterfly is supposed to look like. Now I'm just going to make a body for the butterfly. And it's just going to be a long strip of acrylic. Same color, black. You can do it different colors. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. But make it as long as that center part of the wing is. You can make it a little longer if you want. Have the bottom and the top sticking out, kind of like a head, and the pointy part of the body of the butterfly, the tail. I don't know what that part's called. The butt, something, whatever. So I just make sure that it's thick enough so when I push them together, a little bit of that body pops up. And the shape, what comes out, isn't really going to matter to me, as long as it's thick enough to hold the two wings together the way I want. That's all I care about, because I'm going to be putting glitter on the body, the top part of the body. Now, when you push them together, make sure they're even. If they're not, go ahead and pull them right back apart before it cures and fix it. You can just redo the whole thing. It's pretty easy. So once that's on there, before it cures, I'm going to bend the whole piece of paper to where the bent part is in the middle of the butterfly. And there you have your butterfly. Now, I know it's dark, but can you see how that body popped up there? That's going to be covered with glitter. But I did end up getting a nice big 3D look for the body there. That was what I was going for. So these little wire antennas, I just used a little bit of jewelry wire. And then I just bent it with the little pliers there. Real thin piece of wire, and then I curled each end of the wire, a little about an inch long piece of wire, curled the little ends, and then I pinched them together so that, well, you'll see it, it's so that you have a little bit of a part to put in acrylic to hold to the butterfly. Easier done than said in this case. But you'll see. That little bead there, that's what I'm a little clumsy with these pliers. It's easier to do it with, put them where I want them with my nail brush there. So see, it's just a little piece of wire, and you just curl the ends and pinch it together. You could do 2 separate pieces. I think one piece is easier. And then just make sure that little bead that I'm putting in is thick enough to hold the antennas, and it kind of makes a little head, I guess, for the butterfly. It looks kind of cute when you're done. So I'm holding that in place, moving the antenna around with my brush, pushing it down, making sure it's secure. You have to hold on to it for a little bit. And there's your little butterfly antennas. Super cute. I'm going to put a little extra black acrylic on the underside to reinforce the antennas, since I'm going to add a jewelry bail on the back and make a pendant out of this when I'm done. I'll flatten the added acrylic so it sits flat as a necklace, and it helps to be more stable when I adhere it to the nail. So I'm just gonna play with this a little bit, let it cure, and I don't want this to be really wide or anything. I just want it to be flat, so I'm actually not gonna put much on here. And now I'm going to make sure that that is where I want it. I don't want it to be wide. I just want it to be a little flatter, so I kind of played with it until it cured a little. So now push it down, and there you have a flat belly, and it just kind of sits where you want it. I'm going to be putting the glitter on the underside of the wings first. Get that all done. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to put maybe like a gradient of these 4 colors. These are the 4 colors that I used in my homemade polygel. Push that down. This little nail tip holder, or holder of anything you want it to hold, is amazing. It's got the magnet there. I just love this thing, and there's also a link for that below too. And the tacky stuff, the blue wad of stuff, it's not bubble gum. You could use bubble gum, but this stuff is really cool. You can use this stuff for anything household stuff. Just don't get it wet. It gets gummy when it's wet, but it's not meant to get wet, so. But it holds the nail, it holds your design, your decoration. You could probably use it for jewelry making if you wanted to hold something in place and you don't want to use your hand, you know, like I'm putting this clear gel on here. I don't want to hold that in my hand while I'm doing it. Just makes a mess, so it's handy. All right, so I didn't cure that gel. I put it all over one side. I'm just going to do one side for you guys. It's going to be, like I said, a gradient look. I'm starting with the blue to the right, and I'm going all the way to the left, and there it is, all done. Nothing fancy, but it's pretty. It's glitter. So I cured it for the 30 seconds for the top coat, and it seemed to cure just fine with that glitter on there. Sometimes you can get the glitter a little thick, I think, and then you have to cure a little longer. In some cases, as long as you get enough of that gel for your LED or UV lamp to cure, you'll be fine. So I just put some of the same top coat on the upper side, the upper body of the butterfly. I guess it would be its back. And I'm going to put the blue. It's like an ultraviolet blue. It's prettier in person than it is on this video, I'm afraid. I'm just going to put that in a line right on the back there. And I'm a little picky about how that looks. I do want it to just be on the body. So I take a little too much time doing that. And I will be curing it before I do the rest of the wings. Okay, now I'm putting the clear all over. You can do it in spots if you have different colors. You want to do some dots, just do those dots first, then put the glitter, then cure, then do the rest. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put all of the glitter on. I'm going to put a little bit of that blue right in between on the inside of those wings. And then I can blend the other colors I'm going to be using into that. I left a spot in the middle of each wing, as you can see, and now I'm going to put some gems in there. So I've cured the glitter part. You don't have to. Again, if you don't, you don't. I just like to do that to ensure that I'm not going to bump it and mess it up. Get my brush in it, get glitter all over the brush, and I just cure it first. And then I add my little gems. Stick them right on there, and then I can cure that in the lamp. And there you go. There's your pretty little butterfly. So this right here, I wanted to put a little bit of a frame around the butterfly. Again, it's a choice. You can just leave it blank. I just thought it would look a little more completed if I put some glitter around the edge, all around the whole thing. And I'm using this teal color. I didn't put this on the wings because I wanted to save it for the outer edge of the butterfly. It just kind of gives it a pretty little frame. And then you cure that. And the butterfly is complete. I'm going to bleed out this bead of acrylic. It's clear acrylic. You can use whatever you want to. Builder gel, whatever you think is going to make that stay. That butterfly, it's not extremely heavy, but it is heavy. So I'm choosing to do the acrylic, and I let it cure just a little bit before I put the butterfly on there. And if I can pick it up. The gloves I'm wearing, I might mention this in every video I do. They're nitrile gloves. They're 6 mil, and they save me because I'm allergic to the products. I just love doing this. It's hard for me to work on people with these gloves on. They get cut, and then the product leaks in. But there is a link below for these as well. And there you are. Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.